we talked about this at the reveal in November. And I was
Mhm.
like, oh, I know for sure what I would pick if I was picking for the two of you, because I know your guys' taste so well. And like
Yeah.
you played the script. Ian was like, I'm gonna challenge her a little bit.
Kim, what would I have picked?
So you would have probably done Purple Mist.
Yep, 100%. The
Yeah,
purple
yeah.
batiks. 100%. I love doing batiks for the Puzzle Mystery Quilt.
Mhm.
Honestly, I think it's the best thing because they press nicely, they're crisp, they feel good. There's no wrong side. You don't have to stress about it. And I'm just a really big fan of batiks. So
From a production perspective, we love die cutting those batiks. They die cut so nicely. They don't
right?
fray, they don't shed. They're less than pleasant to count because there's no right side and wrong side. So that is, I mean, anytime we have an issue, it's always like, okay, we're supposed to send 8, but only 7 came off the die cutter because batiks just seem to vaporize. I don't know why. And
It
so that's
happens.
always the one we struggle to get that one. And but we're, I mean, you know us, like we replace it. Like that's one of those
Yep.
things we just do. We just send out the parts, especially the batiks, because we know consciously that they're gonna be a problem.
Yep. And I've had that happen where even as an ambassador, some of my clues are missing a piece. Things happen. But the neat thing that I love is that you guys have streamlined it, right? So if there is something missing, if there is something not right, you just pop onto the website. There's a really quick form that you fill out. It takes you 30 seconds. You can do it from your phone. And in like 2 days, you'll have the replacement in your mail. There's no muss, no fuss. It just happens. So
Right. I mean,
love
I
it.
get it. Like we make mistakes. I would
Yep.
rather put the parts and pieces and put a stamp on it and get it out to you and get you back to sewing than be like, I
Yep.
got to charge you 30 cents. Like that's stupid. That makes no business sense. Like it'd be like, too bad, so sad. You're doing this awesome project. Like we want you to finish. We
Yeah.
like you guys getting to the finish line. And so in order to enable that, we'll take the time to put the 2 pieces in the mail. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is Thursday. It is 9:30 Cotton Cuts time. Good morning. Good morning, Instagram. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, YouTube. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning. I don't know about the weather where you guys are, but we are in what we in the Midwest call our first fake spring. It is like 65 degrees outside. The sun is shining. It is amazing. Today is Dominic's birthday, and we actually had a conversation in the car on the way to school. And his birthday is one of these days, this February 8th, where it could either be 60 degrees and sunny and amazing, and you want to have a birthday party outside, or a couple years ago, it was an ice storm and we couldn't even leave the house and we couldn't walk the dog without falling on our tushes. So, happy birthday to Dominic. Happy spring wherever you are. I hope everyone is out enjoying this weather because winter is unfortunately still not over, but we are going to enjoy it while we can. So, good morning, everybody. We are going to start as we do every week with questions submitted by you guys. As a quick reminder, when you go to cottoncuts.com/live, you can submit a question. I see these literally, they're handed to me right now. I have no advance warning, so we'll see what possibly comes out. Definitely go in and check it. And also, some of these, we may need your help. So accept all the terms and conditions wherever you're viewing this video so we can see where you're joining us from. All right, so the first question submitted comes from Roberta Nelson from Eugene, Oregon. Thank you so much, Roberta, for the question. What would you like to do in the world of quilting that you haven't already done? Okay, I'm going to do some interpretation of this question. So I'm thinking that this is for me personally. What would I like to do in the world of quilting that I haven't already done? So, oh my gosh, so I'm such a learner. I like learning new things. And so I liked learning foundation paper piecing. I liked learning English paper piecing. I think for me, the one thing that I've struggled the most with that I would like to learn more about is how to free motion quilt. So I'm an engineer. I'm a linear, everything has a straight process. And the concept of dropping those feed dogs and just letting the needle float around the fabric is something that I really need to start challenging myself to try more and be more comfortable with mistakes. I'm really good at, like, if I'm piecing, my corners don't need to match. That's okay. If I'm running by and I can't see it, I'm great with that. But I think for me personally, getting super comfortable with the concept of free motion quilting. And so if you guys have any tips for me on how I can get there, I know people have said like draw on the fabric and then trace the lines as you sew. And then part of me is like, with the friction pins, the ink doesn't come off if you press it. And so I don't do that. And then I've seen a lot of Hera markers, the like pieces that score the top of the fabric. If you guys have tips and tricks to get me free motion quilting on my sewing machine, I would love to hear it. Put those in the comments. If there's something that you love it and you're passionate about it, help us get there with you. Okay, just doodle on a paper, someone says. Okay, yes. So I colored within the lines as a kid. Coloring outside the lines is a super big stretch for me. So I will try it. I will try the free motion doodling. Even when I was taking notes in school and sketching in the margins, everything had to be linear and symmetrical. So just so you know, that's the person we're dealing with. But I think that's something I would like to try to learn and get better at. As we all know, long arming, while super awesome, is also very super expensive. And so this is something that I would love to get better at. Thank you for the question, Roberta. I appreciate it. All right, Nina Russo from Albany, New York. It might be cold where you are, Nina. I apologize for talking about the spring we're having in the Midwest. Are there special considerations for making seasonal quilts, like summer or winter quilts? Okay, so this is an interesting question. We talked last week about batting and how, depending on where you are, you might try different battings depending on the season. If you live in Florida, you don't want a heavy wool, you don't want a dense batting in your quilts because it's Florida, right? So it's typically temperate year round. Same thing, you don't want something thin in a quilt if you live in Alaska, for example. And so I think, seasonal quilts for me, I'm a let's make a quilt and use it and love it year round type of person. I think, to me, like I said last week, you can change the way the quilt is used by the batting you put in it. And to me, I'd rather put it for like the climate it's going to and what I can afford. I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, this is a Christmas quilt, it's only going to be on the couch at Christmas. Then you definitely would consider, putting something thicker and warmer in there if you know it's only going to be used at Christmas time. I have a quilt that we use for soccer because soccer is a late fall, early spring sport. We're about to come into those March games where it's very cold. I put 3 layers of batting in there because I wanted it to be something warm. I knew it was going to be a quilt that would be washed, loved, and needed to be used. And so I put more batting in there because that's what it was designed to do. This is not something that's going to hang on a wall or be on a bed. Okay, so also, if you guys have anything like that, if you've made a seasonal quilt, a quilt specifically for a season, go ahead and put it in the comments. And what have you done? Have you tried different patterns? Have you used different batting? Have you used different quilting? I know, depending on how you quilt the quilt as well, you can add weight by just the thread that you use to stitch the quilt together. I don't underestimate the weight that your thread can add to a quilt as well. I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, this quilt is heavy with just the batting, but by the time you densely quilt it, you are adding a lot of weight to it. All right, I'm reading the comments. So Judy is talking about using plexiglass glass and testing it out, and you can erase and dry it again. Judy, that is a fantastic idea. Plexiglass is not expensive, and I know a lot of members in my guild actually will go to glass shops and get templates made out of plexiglass for cheaper than a super expensive quilting ruler. And so I think those are resources that you can find materials in creative places. Judy, thank you so much for the suggestion. Paula says wool batting can be used for all seasons. It's much lighter weight than cotton batting and also breathes better than cotton. That's a fantastic tip as well. I think when it comes to this batting, you just got to try it. Do some internet research and kind of see and know that you're going to hear a whole spectrum of ideas. But I think until you try it personally and gain the experience, you won't know. So just do it and jump right in. All right. So from there, we're going to be giving away a spirit quilt kit at the end of this show. At the end. So all you got to do is hang to the end. We got a fantastic guest waiting in the wings. It's going to be a ton of fun. But so for those of you that don't know, spirit quilt kits, we launched this right after the first of the year, are our 2-color quilt kits. And so these quilts are meant to be 2 colors. You choose fabric color A, fabric color B, and we pre-cut it and send it to you. So all you have to do is sit and sew. So why 2 colors? Why solids? Why is this a thing? And it really comes down to, I was talking to a rep. I was like, how do we get more kids to sew? And he said, it's simple. 2-color quilts. Kids love their school colors. They love solids. And I was like, maybe there's an idea here. Everyone went to some level of school that has a two-color pride. People love, this is my St. Louis city. Everyone in the shop today is dressed up for Spirit. We're going to take a whole bunch of photos around the shop today, but we all have things that we have Spirit around. And so this is something our team was like, maybe there's an idea here. Let's come up with a different pattern. And so our pattern for this quarter is an hourglass. This is I was going to show it later, but I might as well show it now. It's been on the website. So because we're in St. Louis, Kansas City Chiefs, yes, they're going to win Sunday at Super Bowl. But this is the actual block that we've designed for this quarter. It's an hourglass. It's two colors. This is the Chiefs colors because we're all Chiefs fans up in here. When you see the photos from our potluck, you're going to see Chiefs and Cardinals. We're in St. Louis. It's crazy sports stuff up in here. But we're going to give away a Spirit kit to one lucky person who's watching the show. And if you want to learn more about it, go to cottoncuts.com/spirit and pick out your colors. We have a colorway that's all the alma mater colors of the top 20 most popular college colors. We also have a Crayola box. As I was thinking about those kids that the sales rep was talking to me about, I was like, if I was to ask my 5-year-old nephew what his favorite colors were, he's not saying chartreuse and magenta. No, guys, sorry. He is saying blue and green. And so I was thinking we can have a Spirit kit that is primary colors, blue and green. And then it's becoming more and more prevalent to see neon colors. And so we have a neon colorway as well. So definitely check out those Spirit kits. Those are going to start shipping next week. We're very excited. I made this Kansas City Chiefs quilt. It was super easy to do, guys. I just sat and sewed. I had a little podcast on in the background, and I had a fantastic day on Sunday just doing something super fun. Everything was pre-cut. Quilt came together, no time at all. Okay, so where are we at? So stay to the end. We are going to be talking to Anne from Toby Knits. Anne has been an ambassador with us for a long time. Anne is based out of Canada. And so Anne first started out, she reached out to me. She wanted to build a YouTube channel. And I was like, well, I've got this mini mystery coming up. It's a smallish project. Why don't I send it to you and kind of see if your people like it? And so she was like, well, yeah, let's try it. This might be fun. My people might really, really like it. And so we've kept going with Anne. And so Anne is actually sewing our most recent Tree of Life Puzzle Mystery Quilts. All of those clues started shipping last week. We still have a couple stragglers that are still making their way out the door, but everything is on its way to all the detectives. Anne is sewing a woodland small. This woodland colorway has been ridiculously popular. It is very beautiful, folks. It is unfortunately sold out. But we love woodland. It is actually the colorway that we picked for our charity quilt, which you'll hear more about next week. So we found 10 different influencers that are going to sew a different clue for the mystery. They're going to sign their name to it. We're going to bring them all back here to Cotton Cuts. We're going to stitch it together and we're going to raffle it off for charity for So Powerful. So we will have a ton more information on the website next week and talk more about that at that time. But we picked woodland. The designer of the fabric is actually sewing one of the blocks, guys. That's kind of unprecedented for a designer to sew the block of the fabric that they had designed and then auction it off for charity. Super cool. More coming next week. All right. So with that, we're going to turn it over to Anne. So as we know, it's going to take just a little bit. So Anne is on Facebook and she is on YouTube.
Hello.
So Anne, good morning. I am going to get you into our YouTube broadcast. I am inviting you now, or into our Instagram, excuse me. So I've invited you now. And when you accept, she'll pop up on the screen underneath me and we'll be able to have a little cup of chat.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, hold on. We've got audio problems we always seem to have.
Okay, should be all right now.
All right, it's on my side because that's how this is going to work.
There.
Okay. All right, Anne, can you hear me?
I can.
I have a little bit of an echo, so let me see here. Everything is down on my side. Is everything down on your side?
Yeah, I have my volume off, and I don't know how else to. Hang on. What's that? Oh, that's question. Oh my, there. How's that?
All right, Anne, I cannot hear you. Hold on
Oh,
a second.
I turned my mic off. How's that now?
Let's see. Hold on with us, folks. If you're watching us on YouTube or on Facebook or on Instagram, feel free to post a joke and I'll get Paula to put it up on the screen and we'll all be entertained this morning while we work out the audio issue because I know how annoying the echo can be at times. So let's see here. Let me see what we can do.
Hi, Melissa.
Yeah, let me see here. And you are down on everything that you have.
Yep, I'm down on everything. I have my iPhone off, my volume down.
All right.
So, oh, you know what? It might be because it's too close.
Yeah, sometimes that happened for Becca. She had to separate them as well.
How's that? No.
Still have a little bit of an echo.
Where can I put it?
It's a
I don't know where I can put it that you can see it, but it won't be next to it.
Okay, I think we might be okay. If you are on Instagram, do you still have an echo for us when we talk? Okay, let's keep going, Anne. Let's rock this show. And if we've got an echo, we can always transcribe it and post it later. So, welcome, Anne. It is so lovely to have you join us this morning. How is it where you are? Give us the weather forecast in Canada.
It's nice and sunny.
Okay.
It's a bit on the cold side because I'm in Canada.
Right.
I'm in Ontario, Canada, and we've actually had such weird weather, hence my cold. 1 minute it's freezing, and I'm like -12, -15, that kind of cold. And then the next day it's 3.
Oh my gosh.
So, it's hard work trying to know what to wear.
Oh, I walked out of the house with short sleeves today. Like, this is how it works. Okay, so Anne, give us your origin story. I know everyone always likes to hear, how did you get into quilting? How did you get into this YouTube adventure? Give us the elevator pitch.
Okay, so I'm a knitter. That's where I first started. I knit and I cross stitch. And during and I've knit, I grew up in England. My grandmother lived next door to me. She taught me how to knit. And I picked cross stitch up when I was about 17. And then my mom taught me how to sew. I thought quilting was silly because I couldn't imagine cutting up pieces of fabric to then sew them back together. That to me was like a bit weird. And it took me a long time to realize that it was the way you sewed them back together. Oh, good, no echo. Good. It was the way you sewed it back together that made the difference. But I didn't get that. So I started a YouTube channel about, oh gosh, I don't even know, just before I retired from work about 6-7 years ago, to talk about my knitting and my cross stitch. And then during the pandemic, when we were all stuck in and couldn't go anywhere, I started watching Sew Becca. And I saw her put together, I don't know why, it just randomly must have come up on my YouTube channel. And I saw her putting together one of the cotton cuts things. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Never thought any more about it, forgot about it. And then I still kept watching her, and I watched her do some other stuff. So I started looking into this quilting business, and I didn't have the equipment. I didn't have the scissors, the cutting rotary thingy bobs.
The pizza cutter, right? Early on the pizza
whatever
cutter.
that is. I didn't have that.
Yeah.
I had scissors, but apparently that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Who knew? You
were going to try and use scissors that you cut paper with, and oh, the horror! Oh my gosh!
I know. Who knew you had to have 2 different types of scissors?
Yeah.
And I had no different rulers. I had a 12-inch ruler that you use in a piece for paper and pen, right? I had no idea. So when I saw the cotton cuts, I thought, it's cut for you? What? Okay, let's try. And so I started out actually with Olympia because that was, the Olympic Games were coming up. It was COVID. We were all stuck inside. I thought, why not? So I started with Olympia. That was my first one. And I got the colorway Dorothy, which was my mother's name. And my mom passed away 9 years ago. And so I made it for my dad, so that my dad would always have Dorothy wrapped around him.
Oh my gosh, Anne.
I know. So, and I loved it. I loved it that, putting the pieces together because it was manageable. It was so easy to do. So then I started sharing it on my YouTube channel because I was like, well, if I can do this, anybody can do this. So, so literally I started, and before you knew it, I was doing videos for knitting on Mondays, cross stitch videos on Wednesdays, and quilting videos on Friday, and it just grew.
Yes. It's amazing the number of quilters that are just, I'll call them gluttons for punishment and like doing multiple crafts.
I
I'm the
know.
same. Guilty. I'm guilty as charged, man. You go into my craft room, it is a craft room. It is not a quilting room. It's got all the stuff. I feel it. So,
Well,
okay. So, Anne, that was the origin of your
there's all my
channel, right?
yarn. There's all the yarn, and there's all the quilting stuff.
That's amazing. So what do you love most now, right? So you're putting out all this content on your channel. What is the most inspiring to you?
They're all the same, because for me, I'm a little bit OCDC, so I think that's what you call it.
Did you say OCDC?
I think I did. Is that a band? Is that a band? Wait a minute.
So it's the high is ACDC
Oh yeah,
is
yeah.
OCD. It's okay, folks. We've got a new Canadian version of OCD called OCDC. I got it. All right,
There
we're
you
good.
go. There you go. So I like to schedule when I'm doing stuff. So during the daytime, because I have the beautiful light coming in from my room, I quilt during the daytime. And then in the evening, on certain nights of the week, I will either cross stitch or I will knit while I'm watching TV. And they're scheduled in my planner.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Anne, where do you see your channel going? Let's fast forward the clock a year, 2 years. Where is your YouTube channel then?
Well, it's funny you should say that because I had always wanted to break the 1,000 subscribers, which I've done. I had always wanted to become monetized because it takes a lot to do a video, to edit it, to add all the links, to do all the stuff, and then put it up. And I thought it would be nice to get paid for this one of these days.
Right.
But I've been eligible to be monetized for weeks and weeks now, and I haven't done it because I don't really
Oh,
care. It's not about the money for me. It's the community. It's getting my friends because to me, everybody's a friend. So Becca's my friend. You're my friend. Do you know what I mean? Like all the community of quilters, of knitters, of cross stitchers, they're all my friends. And I'm here in Canada. I'm originally from England, but I'm here in Canada. So when I have YouTube channels I follow who are, let's just say, in Britain, I feel like I'm talking to somebody from home. Like, so it's the community. It's actually the community I love more about. It's not about the money for me. I don't care about the money.
right. It's one of those, like, once you start the monetization, then you get the commercials in your videos.
I
And
know.
and it's like people are feeling connected, and then just kidding, here's some new pharmaceutical with a name we can't pronounce. And then we get back to the stuff we really want to see.
Exactly. And again, it's not about that. I mean, I don't want people to feel like they have to, you know, pay for this or pay for that. No, I just want them to come and join me. I just want them to come and keep me company.
Oh my gosh, that's so much fun. So what ways do you engage with your community, with your friends? Tell us kind of some things that you do to keep people coming back.
Well, right now, we're doing a mitered square blanket. Knit along on my channel, and I do a live at the end of each month where we just sit and chat and knit. And I do a cross stitch one. This Friday will be a cross stitch one. We just sit and chat, and then I do 2 regular podcasts every 2 weeks that are just people can just watch. And I have a knitting club in the village that I live in, and we go down and we knit. I'm part of the guild in the next town over, so I do that and get together with those ladies. And it's just I
Oh
have
my
a
gosh,
Facebook page, I have
man,
a group.
your schedule is just, what do you do in your free time?
Well, it's a good job I'm retired,
Yeah.
because I don't know what I do. Plus, on top of all that, I have grandkids right now. Like, oh, I have grandkids now. I have who knew I'd have them? I have my eldest grandchild will be nearly 4 in April. He'll be 4 in April. His name's Tristan. Never stops talking. I think he might get that from his grandmother.
Yeah.
But he never stops talking. And then I have two, and his sister is 18 months or something. And then we have two out in Nova Scotia. So I'm bouncing backwards and forwards to Nova Scotia every couple of months. And I video there while I'm there too. Like I don't stop my channel. You all come with me. You want to come to Nova Scotia? Come with me. This is where we're going.
I feel like there's something there, Anne. Like, let's go on vacation with Anne.
I
Right?
know,
Like, let's
exactly.
travel with Anne. Wherever Anne goes, we're gonna go with her. I think that's funny, right? That's engaging. I would do that. Where in the world is Anne this week?
Where is Anne this week? Yep, yep. So,
That's
yeah.
amazing. All right. So Anne, from your perspective, right? So you're a multi-crafter. What do
Yes.
you see as trends? What is new, kind of what's emerging? What should we be looking at?
Here's what I'm seeing that's happening. And I feel like this year coming up, we're going to have bright colors. There are going to be bright poppy colors. And I feel like everything seems to be scrappy at the moment. I feel like it's all, small but big.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? You're
Right.
making something small that's going to grow into something big. And
Mhm.
we're all struggling this year with money because, like, the economy is tanking. So we are
Cost of
all
everything is going up. Yeah.
everything. So it's like, okay, let's start using what we've got. Let's try and get some scrap things together and do that kind of, let's use leftover stuff, which is one of the reasons, by the way, why I love cotton cuts, because when you get your puzzle mystery, you get what you need and there's no blood and kin scraps.
And so
I
there's
don't
no
have,
scraps left over,
no, I don't have to
but
figure
you're
out.
also never short either,
No,
right?
you get the little loopsy pit thing too. But
Mhm.
I love
Mhm.
that because there's no scraps and you can just, like, you don't like, after I finished a project, I'm like, okay, does this go in the 5-inch bin? Does this go in the 2-inch bin? What bin am I putting this in now?
Yes.
Should I put it with all the same fabric? Do I put it with different colors? That just
Yes.
does my head in.
All right. So okay. So we're gonna go down that a little bit. How do you organize your scraps at the end of a
Oh,
project?
well,
Uh-oh.
squares, 3.5-inch, 2.5-inch, 1.5-inch, 5-inch, 7-inch.
So is that like length? Like you cut them?
Yeah, I cut them into strips. These are all full of strips.
Oh my God, Anne, I am inspired.
Mhm.
I sort by color and kind of jam them in a tub
Oh,
and hope
no.
that it doesn't explode. But this pre-cutting, I aspire to have that, Anne. That is awesome.
Yeah, so that's how I do it, and they stick up there, and then when I need some, and it's great if you need some, I wanna do a scrappy binding, I just go to the 2.5-inch and pull out a bunch of,
Oh my
you know
gosh.
yeah, it's kinda
All
cool.
right, let's talk about Tree of Life. So you were doing woodland. Why did you pick this colorway, Anne?
I loved the brown.
Mhm.
I don't have a brown quilt.
Mhm.
Who does? Like, brown to me is not a quilt color, like, and I love it's the browns and the pale greens and it's just spring.
It is super, and it has a lot of the same colors as Dorothy, but in a like
Yes,
3 years later tone. Yes.
yes, and that was another thing I think that drew me because it was very like Dorothy, and
Yes.
I wanted, when I finished that quilt, I wanted to keep it. I didn't really wanna give it to my dad.
Tell us, someone is new to your channel, they're just tuning in. What do you tell them about the Puzzle Mystery Quilt? What is the kind of the like why we should do this?
Okay, so my favorite part about the whole Puzzle Mystery Quilt is, yes, each time you get your little packet of fabric, takes you maybe an hour, throw some music on, you're done in an hour. That's it for the month now. Put it away. We don't have to worry about it. But month 10, my favorite month, because then we get to put all the pieces together and it's like this great big mess on my floor where it's like clue 1A joined with clue 2B and you're pulling all the pieces together and you're putting it all together to make this fabulous quilt, and then it's like, wow, you step back and you look at it and you're like, oh wow, that's what it looks like. And let me tell you, the one we just finished, I can't think of the name of it for now.
We just finished Village Green.
Village Green, yes, I did daffodil for Village Green, and I'm putting it together, and certain colors are popping while you're actually sewing it. But when you put it together, the one color stood out really for me that I never thought would be the color that would stand out.
Right.
The yellow.
So, and we get a lot of feedback, right? We've got a lot of people sewing Clue 1s this week, right? This is Clue 1 just shipped. And we're getting people like doubting, like, oh, I'm not really sure I'm going to like this fabric, or I'm not really sure I can tell the difference. What do you tell those people?
Just wait, because you'll be so surprised by the time you get to the end how it's going to show up. Like it will completely knock your socks off. You will not, you will just be so surprised. Like I'm doing carnival right now, and I'm doing steampunk, and that's all dark colors. And I'm like, I can't imagine, like, I know from dark colors to woodland, how crazy is that? But I'm like, I can't imagine how that is going to show up. And here's something else I'm going to do, which I think might blow everybody's mind. Well, it's blowing my mind, and I'm the one who thought of it. I am going to, when I put it together, I am going to put it together differently.
Wait, what? No, stop. Go back. Say that again.
I am going to quilt as you go.
Oh, okay.
So I'm still putting it together the way it's meant to be, but I'm going to try, because again, finances, you want to be able to quilt at home and get this all done. So I am going to try, and because I have no idea what's going to look like. Last year's was a good one that we just finished, because it was like almost strips that we ended up.
It was rows that went together.
So it was easy. And I thought, if that's what this next one's going to be like, I'm going to see if I can quilt each strip as I go, so then I can put it together.
You have inspired me. So I think Becca is going to try piecing on her long arm. You're going to quilt as you go, as you finish. This is, oh my God, you guys have some interesting stuff planned. This is going to be awesome.
And of course, I'll bring you along. You'll have to come and see whether it works or not. I'll probably do a live.
If it doesn't work, it's okay. You got a seam ripper, you just back it up, and you just do what you would normally do, right? It's the beauty of fabric. You just start over. It's great. Okay, so Anne, tell everyone how they can find you. How can they find you and catch up on all your misadventures?
Okay, my misadventures.
Nova Scotia. We're all going to Nova Scotia with Anne.
I know. So I am Toby Knits on Facebook. I am Toby Knits on Instagram. I am Toby Knits on YouTube, and Brit Hockey Mum on Ravelry.
Wait, say that again.
Brit Hockey Mum on Ravelry.
Okay, Brit Hockey Mum on Ravelry. I like Ravelry a lot. I'm a crocheter. I hang out there. I will have to hit you up on the channel.
Yeah. Well, I had that years and years and years ago when, my boys were playing hockey. My boys are like 32 and 34 now. So,
That's amazing. As always, Anne, thank you so much for your support of us. We love you. We love supporting you and all your adventures and all the awesome stuff. I can't wait to see this quilt as you go. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be
fun. All right. Thank you so much, Anne. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Anne. All right. Okay, so Anne was amazing. We love Anne. How awesome of her to join us today and share her stories with us. We appreciate it as always. So going back to where we started, we're going to give away a spirit kit. And so I am inspired by what Anne shared with us. And so wherever you are watching this video, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, comment with how you store your scraps. We saw Anne. She has cute baskets that are sorted by shape and by length. I aspire for that. I sort mine by color. I have a pink tub, I have a blue tub, I have a green tub, and I sort them by color and fold them up and they get mashed in together. Go ahead and share with us. How do you store your scraps? And we'll pick one random person to win a spirit quilt of their choice. All right, guys, I think that's literally everything. I'm going to check my list. It would be remiss if I did not remind everyone about our dress drive. Guys, we have 100 dresses to donate to Dress a Girl Around the World. That is our organization that we sponsored for the month of January. We're going to do 100 dresses by the end of March. Get on those dresses, start sewing them together. We definitely want to get that goal met and make an impact. We have a video on our YouTube channel that we actually interviewed the founder of this organization, and she shared with us mission and where she's going and awesome, fantastic stuff. Don't forget that our February Cotton Cuts Cares organization is Kennel Quilt. This is an organization that supports making quilts for dogs in kennels. As we know, I have a rescue dog, love my rescue dog. This dog is amazing. I love supporting organizations that are doing great things. They're the rescue group that we partnered with, just brought 400 dogs in from a Caribbean island where the dogs were all set to be put down. They brought them into the United States and they're giving great homes. These are organizations doing really good things all over the world. Every new classic, modern maker, Java, and Chroma Super Pop this month, we will give $5 to Kennel Quilts. They are awesome. Don't forget, it's not too late to get in on Tree of Life. I know if you're following us on the socials and all the hashtags, you're seeing Clue Ones, you're seeing Whole Quilts. Our ambassadors are putting out incredible videos. It's not too late to sign up. Go ahead and pick your favorite colorway. We just updated it yesterday, so there were some colorways that are sold out that are now back in stock and some that are now sold out for good. So don't miss out on that colorway. Woodland is probably sold out for good, guys. Get in on that colorway and do not miss out. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your week. Enjoy the spring weather while you can. And we will be here next week with all new guests, all new topic, all new awesome conversation. Thank you guys so much for joining us and have a great rest of your day.